Have you ever felt guilty or ashamed for something that you've done and it just seems to torment you time and time again? Today in this segment, we're going to talk about guilt and shame. And I know that sounds heavy, but this is important because I think this is the way out. Okay? So there's a guy named Craig Nacken, and he was actually my mentor's mentor. He was Bitten Johnson's mentor. He wrote this really powerful book. Let me just grab it for you real quick. Um, it's called The Addictive Personality. Okay, and it's a book written more or less for professionals, but there's still some good information in there. Um, but what I want to talk to you about is he came up with this concept of these blue dog characteristics, and the blue dog represents our recovery and our growth, and then also the red dog characteristics, and the red dog represents our disease of addiction, right? And these are two forces or entities that are basically dueling it out inside of our brain. Okay? Again, the red dog is the disease, the blue dog is the recovery. Okay? So when the red dog acts out, we need the blue dog to respond. We really need to get to know red dog, and that's why we're going to talk about guilt and shame today because this is very, very interesting. Okay, I want to start off by shocking you. Okay? Guilt is a blue dog characteristic. Guilt is a recovery characteristic. It's a behavior of recovery. Now, you might be telling yourself, Dave, that sounds crazy. How is guilt good? I'm going to tell you why. Okay? I'm going to tell you first by telling you that shame is a red dog characteristic. Now, I'm going to define shame as is an intrinsic belief that there's something wrong with us. Right? It comes from within us. It's not I did something wrong, it's I'm wrong. There's something wrong with me. I'm broken. That is shame. That is deep-seated and very active in the disease of addiction. Shame creates more shame. It's a cycle, okay? And believe it or not, how do we get out of shame? It's guilt. I know it's crazy. Trust me on this, right? The way out of shame is through guilt. But how does that work, Dave? I'm going to tell you. Okay? Guilt is the bridge between shame and responsibility. Guilt transfers. I'm If the shame is I am wrong, guilt is I did something wrong, right? I have, as a human being, done something which was perceived as wrong by me. I am not wrong. I did something wrong. Okay? Shame is I am wrong. Guilt is I have done something wrong. There's a big difference. It doesn't devalue our sense of self like shame does. And when we get to the guilt and we know that we've done something wrong, we can use that power to get us to the point of responsibility. Responsibility, the ability to respond, the ability to change. We can totally exchange outcomes when we're responsible. And now a lot of addicts, just like little kids, don't like responsibility. A lot of adults don't like responsibility, right? Because of its perceived, the perception of it is like work. Responsibility is freedom. When I take responsibility for something, it means I can change it. Now, if I'm facing a problem in my life and I give you responsibility for that problem, guess what? I'm screwed. There's nothing that I can do to change the problem I'm facing. But when I'm responsible for the problem, I can change it. I can alter the course. I can alter the trajectory of my life, of my behaviors, of my recovery because I'm responsible for them. I'm taking ownership for them and I'm going to do something about them. So remember, work to transferring your shame, that deep-seated feeling that you're broken, into guilt, into the negative responsibility, and then use that and transfer that into positive responsibility. The fact that you can do something positive and productive with any problem that you face. Remember, the obstacle is the way. The struggles that you're facing today are going to be the thing that creates more brightness tomorrow. It's just the way the world works. and you'll face the same problem till you overcome it. Be grateful for your teachers, for your life lessons. They're a beautiful thing. They will change you into the person that you want to become, the person that you're proud of. And guess what can't live there? Shame can't live there. It's a beautiful thing.